Hey, what's up? My name is Kade, and today we have a new lighting setup, but I'm also going to be talking about why I stopped taking my testosterone shots. There are two main reasons why I stopped taking T shots. Yes, I am still actually getting testosterone in a different form, and I'll talk about that in the second half of my video. But first, I want to go over the two main reasons why I just could not do my T shots anymore. The first reason why I stopped taking testosterone shots is the levels. My testosterone levels were just so inconsistent. How it was set up for me is I would take my testosterone shot every 2 weeks. So at that 2-week mark, I would have a huge spike in sweat. I'd be extra hot. I'd be extra horny. And I would have just so much energy. But as the week went on, and the next week, I just slowly got more tired. My libido was just slowly going downhill. And I just didn't like how inconsistent it made me feel. From what I've heard from a few friends and online, doing the testosterone gel seems to be a lot more of a consistent feeling because you have to take it twice a day. So it's just kind of like a ongoing vibe. Since I wanted that consistency, I was like, let's try the gel for the most part. Because the second reason is honestly the biggest reason why I had to switch over. So number 2, my fear of needles/shots. Just mostly needles in general, because getting my blood drawn, I hate it. Even with the techniques that I used on my shot tip video, which you can check that out above if you'd like, even with all those tips, it just became too much for me. I have such an extreme fear of needles that it just bothers me so much to even think about getting shots done to me, giving people shots, getting my blood drawn, all of that. It just bothers me so much. When I first started testosterone, I was like, it's worth it. Let's just go for it. And I'd just be giving myself the shot every week back in that time period. As I said in my shot tip video, if you're able to get help from others, it is so helpful. The thing about that is people come and go from your lives. And if you want to be able to get your medicine, you need to be able to take your medicine by yourself. If you don't feel good enough and confident enough to give yourself a shot, then I recommend you try and see if you can get on the gel. It's definitely worth trying to see if you can, because we are more capable beings than we think we are. And I did it for over 2 years. It's just when I was able to get with someone, someone was able to help me out, giving the shots every other week for a long time. But since that person is no longer in my life like that, I couldn't rely on that anymore. So I have been doing my testosterone gel for about 8 months now. And I waited quite a while to make this video so I could really feel the changes and effects of how it feels different. Let me talk about kind of the differences that I've noticed from the testosterone shots that I took bi-weekly and then the daily little gel squirts that I put on my arm. If you have switched from doing testosterone shots to gel, please leave in the comments section below your experience. I'd love to hear more about it. A huge difference that I noticed when I switched to gel is my testosterone levels just tanked down. They went downhill so much. I usually felt the best and most energized when I had the higher end of testosterone, when I was doing the shots. After I was doing the gel for about 3 months, I got my blood test done, and they said that my blood test for my T levels was just barely passable, just barely in the range that they want. And it makes sense that happening because I noticed another change happened. And this change that happened was just terrible, and I hated it, and I didn't think I had to deal with it for such a long time. Of course, having lower levels of testosterone, it will affect your body in different ways. Even though I can tell my testosterone levels have been a lot more consistent, especially in the past few months, when I first did the switch, it felt consistent, but it felt consistently low. Not only a mood dip, my energy shot down, and my libido just left my body for the most part. And when it comes to libido, that just left my body, basically. There's another reason why. Because testosterone, of course, usually makes you a little horny. Unfortunately, when I had these lower levels of testosterone, still kind of low, but not as low as they were, I got my period again. And I talked about that a few weeks back in one of my videos, but when I got that period to come back, I had never felt like that bad dysphoria ever since I had top surgery, or before I had top surgery. So that wrecked me. I didn't want anything sexual, I didn't want to think about sexual things. I was just like, no thank you. As time has gone by and my body has adjusted to doing the testosterone through the gel, I feel like my mood is a little bit more stabilized, my energy is kind of more there, and my libido still lower than normal, like comparatively to before, but it still is better than it was, because I have not had my period come back in a few months, because that was just a terrible experience. If you'd like to hear more about what it was like for me to get my period again after being on testosterone for almost 5 years, you can check that out right here. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future and you liked it, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe below. Have a good one. Peace.